Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Carolina Hurricanes franchise mode. So we're up here in the Stanley Cup Finals for back-to-back seasons after we just defeated our rival, the Philadelphia Flyers, in Game 7 in double overtime because of a short-handed goal from Brian Ward. So, wow, we're off to the Cup Finals for the third time in 4 years. This should be a really good one. We definitely have more experience than Chicago does, I think, at this stage, because I don't think Chicago's got a lot of players that have been actually in playoffs before, or at least in the finals. So anyways, let's get into game number one. I showed you guys already their roster, and they're not the scariest team. They have not the greatest depth, and then their goaltending, that's where they're successful. Verdino's like a 91, and Ulnov is a 92. So hopefully, like, Ulnov could just outplay him, and then our offense, since it's better and our defense is better, hopefully that helps us win this series. So game number one on home ice. Let's see if we could get this done, guys. We need this cup. First period, and it is 1-0 us, and it's the youngster Cedric Playfair going for his Stanley Cup potentially in his rookie season. Shots are 12-6 in favor of us. Second period, and it is 2-0 Rod Fritz. Nicely done, guys. We're continuing our defensive style from the last 3 rounds. Hopefully it could just keep up this entire playoffs, at least in this finals. And Godfrey makes it 3-0. So we are definitely looking like we're going to take a 1-0 series lead here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Yup, Nikas makes it 4-0. So not a good performance from their 91 overall goaltender so far. Well, actually, he's made almost like 30 saves. So I'm just going to blame Chicago's offense because they only got just over 20 shots in that game. So definitely we played a good defensive style. Hopefully that continues, like I said. So Playfair from Grantham and Godfrey, Fritz from Spiller and Hannafin, Godfrey from Grantham and Spiller, and Nikas from Rathje and Hannafin. 3 stars in that game. Ulnov with 21 saves, Godfrey with 2 points, and Hannafin with 2 points. Okay, so we are 3 wins from the Stanley Cup Finals, or Stanley Cup, not the Stanley Cup Finals, from the Stanley Cup. Let's see if we could take a 2-0 series lead headed back to Chicago, because we definitely want to make use of this home ice. First period, and it is 1-1. So Corrado, the 4th liner, opens the scoring, but Marvin Westcott answers back for Chicago. Shots are 15-8 in favor of us. Second period, and it is still 1-1. We're outshooting him 24-19, but now I think Verdino is playing better. He's gotten his test game, which was last game, and now he's playing good this game. Hopefully we get take the lead here, and Nikas, the veteran, is going to score, and it is 2-0. I think Nikas might not have been with us for the first Stanley Cup. I think the only one that has was Noah Hannafin, and that might have been it. Last 5 minutes of the third, and Grantham scores, and we have a 3-1 lead. Power play late. We don't score on it, but we have taken a 2-0 lead in the Stanley Cup Finals. We've only allowed 1 goal in their first 2 games as well. So Corrado from Orr and Arvidsson, Nikas from Grantham and Spiller, and Grantham from Korea and Godfrey. 3 stars, Ulnov, Grantham, and Nikas. Okay, so now that we have that 2-0 series lead, hopefully we could still play good on the road in Chicago. We played decently on the road so far in this playoff run. We have a couple wins against the Flyers on the road, and then I think also a couple against Toronto, or at least 1 against Toronto. So here we go, game 3. Can we continue our defensive style and our good offensive style too? First period, and it is scoreless, so I'm liking that because we're continuing our defensive style, but Chicago is due to score more goals than just 1 goal. Shots are 9-9. Second period, and it is 1-0 Chicago. Piper is going to open the scoring. We are outshooting 21-16, but it seems like Verdino is having a good game for change. He usually has bad third periods so far, so let's see if we could tie this game up. Penalty kill. It's a 5-on-3 penalty kill, and we killed off, and now we have a power play chance. It's a long power play, but we don't score on it. Last 5 minutes of the third period. 5-on-3 power play late. We don't score on it. And we are going to lose 2-0 as Aikson is going to get the empty netter. And yeah, that was still a good defensive game. It's just, yeah, it was still a good defensive game. Ulnov played really good, but we just could not score that game. So hopefully we can kind of rebound from that in game number 4, because I don't want to have necessarily a tie series going back home. Obviously, I want that 3-1 series lead, so let's see if we could get that done here on the road. I'm not going to change anything with the lines just yet. So here we go, first period, and we have the 1-0 lead, and it's Rod Fritz opening the scoring. Shots are 8-7 in favor of us. Second period, and we have a 2-0 lead, and it's Playfair. Shots are 20-14 in favor of us, and we are 1 period away from being a 1 win away from the cup. That was a weird way of saying it, but okay. Last 10 minutes here of the third period, we are potentially going for another shutout in this round. I think Ulnov's got the Conn Smythe under lock if we win the cup, because he's had like 5 or 6 shutouts in his playoffs. And wow, okay, never mind. Zednik is gonna break his shutout late, but we still win 2-1, and we are 1 win away from the cup. And we could have a chance to win. We actually have a chance to win on home ice. So Fritz from Hannafin and Playfair from Hannafin and Rafji. So Ulnov again first star, Verdino to second star, and Hannafin third. So we are 1 win away from our second cup, and our first in quite a while, because we lost like 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals. And now will we go 2 for 5 in the Stanley Cup Finals and win our second Stanley Cup? Here we go, game 5 on home ice. It would be a great way to end it off with a win on home ice. If we have a chance to win it, I'll jump into the game again and let you guys watch it. So first period, it is 1-1 Arvidsson and Westcott. Okay, pretty solid period. I'm gonna slow sim the rest of this. Well, yeah, the rest of this game, just because since it's pretty tight right now, why not? And then it makes it for a better story. So last 10 minutes here of the second period, penalty kill, nicely done. Still a 1-1 game. And we are tied, and we are going to the third period with a 1-1 game. Shots are not that much, actually, 18-16. Let's see if we could get that game winner here. I'm going to put it down to 4 times simulation just in case. Well, actually, I'm going to put it to 8 times until we have potentially a lead. Oh, Grantham ties it right back up after Flaherty scored. Let's go back to 4 times, just because I don't want to miss anything. The last 10 minutes here of the third period. If it goes to overtime, I might still jump into the game, which is kind of a risky thing because we might not win that way. So I'll intervene with the last 2 minutes left or so. Let's intervene right here. And I'm going to let you guys watch and see if we win the Cup Finals, but if for some reason we don't, then we will continue with the simulation. So yeah, let's hop right into it.
So far, and more to come. Approaching the final minute in this game. A penalty has been called at a critical point in the game, and the power play unit comes out. Corrado's going to the box for 2 minutes for high sticking.
If he keeps his hands down, this is not high sticking. They moved the puck around beautifully on the power play, just nothing to show for it.
Absolutely. I think you're right, Eddie. Let's see what the team does here. He's got that point pass. Marches on a cross. Good shot down there. The stick can break up a play, and it just did. The power play unit has to recoil and try yet again. Gets in. What'll he do? No way he's getting by there. The Hurricanes shoot it back out. Got some time to check the clock and prepare to defend again. It's dumped in. Out of his crease to take it. What'll he do with this? Puck is thrown to Parayko. Directing that one to Strome. Puck grab. They've got it ready. He caught it and he holds on.
To be a top 10 scorer in the playoffs requires a couple things. Your team has to be good, so you play enough games to get into the top 10, but also you have to be able to produce when the level of the game is risen.
They win the draw. Let's see if it pays off. A shot. Outstanding glove save. Ward's got it on his stick, trying to get it out of there. The game is knotted up as we're headed to overtime. The shots on goal are high already, and they're going to crawl higher after 3 periods. 29 for the Hurricanes and 29 for the Blackhawks. Carryover penalty time, so the penalty kill will continue on a fresh sheet of ice. Pass cut. Laid on to Murphy. The Hawks continue to probe up the wing. Shoots it on. That hits somebody. Right there, but can he get it out of harm's way? Sent out, and he'll make them chase it. Carolina's in possession in their own end. Off that right side, he's got a perfect pass. Can't get a shot on. Great job on a cut pass. Carolina's gotten it back out. They check the clock, get ready to defend. Moving it to Saad. He's got that pass off the wing and can move ahead. Shot on. Score!
Okay, guys, so we ended up losing that game in overtime because of a power play goal from, I think it was DeBrincat? No, it was from Strome. Okay, but yeah, we lost that game, so we're just going to continue with the simulation. I don't think I should have jumped in, but I wanted to see the Stanley Cup win if we won it, so let's get into game number 5, I think, or number 6. Yeah, game number 6. See if we can win it in Chicago at least, because I don't want to go to a game 7 now after losing that game. So here we go, game 6 in Chicago. We should be able to win this. First period, and it is 1-0 us, and it's Lucas Corrado on the 4th line. Shots are 12-11 in favor of us. Second period, and we have a 2-0 lead, so that is huge. Godfrey makes a 2-0. Shots are 24-17 now in favor of us. Let's see if we could just lock this down here in the third period. Bolio is going to make it 2-1. Not a good way to start it off, but Orr makes it 3-1. That's a big answer from Orr. And there you go. Fritz makes it 4-1. We have the cup probably in sights now. So for sure, you guys are going to get to see the cup win now. So I'm going to go down to 4 times sim. And we'll intervene with like a minute or so left again. So I apologize that you guys had to see a game that didn't really matter. I might just cut it out because, yeah, why not? And oh shit, I almost forgot about jumping in. Holy crap. With 1:13 seconds left, we are going to the last little bit of the game. So I'm going to let you guys watch this, and I'll see you guys at the end of it.
If you're just with us, it's been a tremendous bit of hockey so far, and more to come. Carolina's prevailed again on the face-off in the neutral zone.
In the third period.
We are in the last minute. To the point it comes. Chicago's in possession as they travel through center ice. And he dumps it in. Taken up the wing by Corrado. Mashed in. Chicago starting back in their own end. Into the attacking end. Off a body. The Blackhawks empty their net. He's at the bench. Dumped in. Directed up the wing to Piper. Backhander to the net. Knocked right off the stick. Presented since 1893. In their imagination, it never looked as good as it will. The Stanley Cup about to be theirs.
They've been injured, they've been banged up, they've been beaten down, yet they have always been able to dig deep and find a character that only Stanley Cup champions have. There's much to be said for being a humble winner and a gracious loser. This series is so bitter. It is so hard to play. Yet your celebration gets put on the back burner as you shake hands and congratulate the team that you've just beaten on a hard-fought series.
The playoff MVP gets the Conn Smythe Trophy, and here is the winner.
This is a tremendous award that probably means more in the coming days than it does now. You don't dream of winning the Conn Smythe. You dream of the Stanley Cup.
It's often said it's the hardest prize to win because it takes 8 weeks. And by tradition, the captain is the first to hold it high.
He's often acknowledged to be one of the best captains in all of sport. To be the leader of a championship team is one thing. To be held on a different level as he is quite another. There's so much going on the ice right now. I wonder if the players are able to soak it all in, or if it goes by so fast that the time that they really understand is when they look at it on video later on. This is outstanding to see how happy these players are.
You play that hard and that long. You get your names on a trophy, rings on your fingers, and one last photograph. Evidence of it all.
So there you guys have it. We have won our second Stanley Cup in, well, not franchise history, but in this franchise mode history. And we still have a lot of years left, which means this GM mode might end up being more successful than my Minnesota series in terms of cup wins. So Orr gets first star in that game, Corrado the second star, and Flaherty the third. As expected, Ulnov did take home the Conn Smythe. He just had a very good playoff run, only allowing like a couple goals per game on average. But we do got to give the nod to some of our offensive players like Stephen Malone, who was almost point per game in the playoffs. And then like a couple other players were really good as well. Like Godfrey had a couple multi-point games. He also got to hold the Stanley Cup in that video, or that portion, as well as Arvidsson. So as you can see, we are the Cup champions. Milwaukee is the AHL. So currently in this GM mode, our stats are 2 for 5 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Hopefully we could go for maybe a couple more wins in the future. Grantham also actually had a really good playoffs. I guess he picked it up near the end of it. 19 points in 24 games. Let's take a look at the player stats first. Then we'll look at awards, seeing if maybe Ulnov took home something else other than just that. So Grantham 19 points, as we were saying. Malone 17 points, as well as Noah Hannafin. So the captain did come through a lot to winning us that Stanley Cup. Godfrey 16 points. That's what I meant. He's up to an 85 now, so that's really nice. Fritz 15 points. Playfair 13 points. He gets a cup in his rookie season. Same with Orr and Korea. Poye 13 points. Orr 12 points. Corrado 11 points. Nikas and Spiller 10 points. Career with 8 points. Arvidsson with 6 points. And Ward with 6 points. Whitmore with 5. Rafty with 4. Henriksen with 2. And Lilia with nothing. Goaltending wise, Ulnov went 16-5-3 with 4 shutouts and 947 save percentage and a 1.58 goals against average. So definitely a big contributor to that cup win. And yeah, so that is the player stats for the playoffs. Let's take a look at the awards. So we have won the Stanley Cup. The President's Trophy goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and it was between us and Chicago. But as you can see, look at that. We have been in the Cup Finals 3 times in the last 4 seasons. And we actually could have been in the Cup Finals, I think, in 2023-24. But I don't know if we lost in the Conference Finals to the Islanders or the Islanders just won the Cup. Or actually, I think that might have been the year we missed as well. I don't even know. But we've won at least... the Prince of Wales 3 times in 4 years. Kucherov gets the Art Ross and the Hart. Norris going to Garvin for Detroit. Stamkos gets the Lady Byng. Calder goes to Wilcox. Conn Smythe goes to Ulanov. That's nice to see him add another award. So now he's got 2 Vezinas. He's got 1 Jennings, I think, and 1 Conn Smythe. And Verdino is going to take home the Vezina for the Chicago Blackhawks, so he breaks up Ulanov and Hart's like back and forth streak. We did eliminate him in the Cup Finals though, so we are better than he is. Jennings goes to Bobkov. The Bill Masterton going to Beckett. Selke goes to McDavid. Lindsay goes to Kucherov, and Tarasenko gets to Richard. In terms of the AHL, did we get any AHL like guys get awards? No, we did not. Not a surprise because we don't really have really good prospects in the AHL. So that is that. Now, the final thing we got to do is sim to the draft and see if we lost anybody to retirement, which I don't think we did considering most players are below 31. And then we also check the draft lottery results. Even though we don't have a draft lottery pick, we do have 2 firsts this year, because we did make that big trade with Detroit at the start of the season. So I guess, yeah, we'll just go back to the United States. Why not? So I wonder who has the first overall pick this year. Like, hopefully Detroit kind of goes into like a rebuilding stage soon, because then those first might be like lottery picks. So Ottawa's got first, followed by Washington and Vegas. So there is your top 15 picks. And yeah, let's see who retired. I don't think we lost anybody, like I said, but maybe Justin Falk retired for the Islanders, because I don't think he did last year. So we did not lose anybody, which is what I expected. In terms of all skaters, though, who retired. So Steven Stamkos retires, wow, with 1,546 games, or 46 points. Sagan retires with 1,412. Ben with 1,257. Taylor Hall, Andre Palat had over 1,000 points. Wow, for a former 7th round pick, that's pretty amazing. I guess he was playing with Stamkos and Kucherov this entire GM mode, so that helped out a lot. Eberle had over 1,000 points as well. Interesting. So Panarin as well, Kane, any former players of ours, though, that's more what I'm looking for. Yep, Justin Falk does retire as a free agent. It was 672 points in 1,200 games. He was our captain, I think, when we won the cup. No, maybe Skinner was, but he was still one of the players that won the cup with us, and he won on one also with the Islanders. So Dadonov, any other former guys? I don't think so, but you never know. Might as well go through this entire list, even though it might be a bit long. I don't see anybody at the moment that is a former player, but I could be wrong. But if you guys see any of them that I missed, let me know. Okay, we're kind of getting into the players that don't really matter anymore. Yeah, I'm going to just like leave the rest of that. So let's just check goaltenders. So Carey Price finally retires with 554 wins. Holtby retires. Kemper retires. Leonard, etc. Oh, wait, didn't we have Leonard for a bit before? No, I don't think we did. But I do think... Didn't we have Grubauer or no? I might be thinking of a different GMO, but I think I had Grubauer at one point. So there is the retirements this year. And yeah, so trading block of going into the draft. I'll just leave the first on there. Maybe we could get back some good forwards that we could replace some other guys with. I don't know. But so there is our 2027-28 season. So it was a very successful year again, as we actually went to the Cup Finals and won this time. So yeah, in next episode we will have the draft and we will have free agency and all that sort of stuff. And hopefully we can contend again next year for maybe another cup. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.
Bye.